Well, thank you, AI computer sounding person. All right, very good. So, welcome everybody to Power Hour. Good to see you all. We are here on December 5th. I cannot believe it's already December and it's about to be 2024. It is crazy how fast it goes, but you guys are at the right place tonight. Appreciate y'all jumping on and excited to share with y'all some thoughts on this business and to also answer your questions. So, a couple things I want to talk about tonight. I'm going to be kind of generic tonight in a lot of different spots. I'm not going to have one core message like I've been doing. I'm going to kind of weave some things together and talk a little bit about mindset and what I think is a good strategy for how to really take this thing and explode your business. So I always like to start with a recap and also want to make an announcement up front just to make sure, in case you were living under a rock, there is some pretty big events going on this week, and that's our Texas tour. So I know some of y'all are in the Northeast, but if you are in Texas anywhere, one of these four events, two of them being held in the same city, but you should be within driving distance of one of them. And if you can, I highly, highly recommend you make the trek to get there. Some of our leaders have driven 8 hours to get to some of these locations. So if you can do it in less than that, it's very, very good idea to do so. Um, Simply because you might say, well, look, it's kind of silly. I'm already in the business. Why should I go to one of these events? I'm telling you, events are where champions are made in this business. Events are where the money is at. I promise you, anybody, and I swear on this, anybody that has made significant money in this industry will 100% associate it to being at an event. There's going to be a day that you're going to be sitting there. I got goosebumps all up and down my arms right now saying this. There's an event that you are going to go to, and it's going to click, and you're going to hear something, and you're going to feel it. And that's what moves us. Logic doesn't move us, emotion does. And when you're at one of these events and you look into the CEO's eyes and you see that you got somebody that is literally going to go to war for you, and you don't have to mess with any of those things, man, and you know that you're at the right place at the right time with the right company, the right product, the right everything, comp plan, all of it, and you are blessed to be here at that moment, then you just kind of get the chills and you're like, why the hell am I not blowing this up? And then a switch is flipped and you go into berserker mode, man. You just go nuts, and everybody will come back and tell you the event or events that they went to that made all the difference in the world. So if you are somewhere in the state of Texas, make sure that you get to either Houston tonight. They're wrapping up in Dallas, but make sure you get to Houston tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday in Lubbock. And if you're not able to get there, but you have people there, please, please, please make sure you're on the phone. Make sure you take a picture of myself or Rocky Bose or any of the folks that are going to be in the different cities, David Daniel, Brian, just a ton of folks that are in this organization that are here to help. And simply tell your guest, hey, find this guy. And if you're telling them to find me tomorrow in Houston, just say he's going to be one of the tall guys there, and go up and introduce yourself and tell them somebody sent you. So that's first announcement. Next announcement that I want to make to you is make sure you're aware of some new stuff that has come out. One of them, excuse me, is the open for pre-enrollment for Lubbock, which is a really big deal. So that's really awesome. The other thing is the net metering option. I don't know if it's in all states, and I haven't been in front of my computer to look, but it was announced that today at noon, there's a new option for electricity service. And I'm going to spend just a few minutes of explaining what that means. And so let's say that you have somebody that's got solar, not community solar, but the traditional solar, what most people think of on solar. The solar panels are literally on top of their house. When they have that, they still are hooked to the grid. They still need electricity. Right now, the sun's not shining. And guess what? They're still going to need to they're still going to need electricity. And so at night, when the sun's not out, they're still going to be pulling from the grid. So they're still hooked to the grid. It's just during the day when their solar panels were generating, they're using that electricity, and an excess amount is put onto the grid and it back feeds into the system. And so that's called net metering. And so not every plan not every company that's out there offers that. And in fact, extremely few do. But we are quite interested on the solar side and the environment with this company, which is amazing. And as a result, they said, you know what, we do need that type of plan. And so they created that. So that is now available. Now, let me tell you a great application for that. Do you know anybody that has been going out and selling solar on houses? You know somebody that knows somebody that's been doing solar. Guess what? When they're there and they finish up with that customer and they get those solar panels installed, they're going to switch their provider to someone that can do net metering. Guess what? Now that can be us. So every single person that is putting solar panels on there needs to be in this business with us. And they're already talking to people. They're already talking about electricity. They're doing all the things that we need them to do. And this is a simple add-on. So hopefully that adds some people to your list that you want to reach out to. So that was the other announcement that I wanted to be able to make. Now, on to some training topics. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is from a review perspective, rather. We talked about 535, 5 personal customers, 3 new energy advisors, and then show each of them how to get 5 customers each. When that happens, a couple things are going to occur. When you get your 5 customers, that's going to be $20 a piece. That's $100. And then you're going to get $10 on when those 3 people underneath of you each get 5. That's going to be $150. So right off the bat, that's $250 coming back into your pocket. And I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to talk to you about some extra things that you can position yourself to know and to speak about when you're prospecting people to become energy advisors. You got to get the customers, right? But one of the things that I'll typically do when I start a conversation with somebody is that I'm going to look for some key things. I'm not just going to go get anybody off the street. When the guy, and not to be rude, but if there's somebody that's, they're not taking care of their appearance, they're not, giving a good first impression to me, that's not somebody that I'm going to be pitching the business to, right? I'm looking for eagles. I'm not looking for chickens, right? I don't want to go out there and herding a whole bunch of chickens. I want to be showing a couple eagles what to do, and then I want to get out of their way. And when I'm able to do that, they're going to take off and take this business and run. So that's one of the first things, is that I will look for some key things before I'm going to invest my time and energy into them. But once I do say, you know what, I'm going to give them a shot, I'm going to ask questions. I'm not going to try and tell them a whole bunch of stuff because I haven't qualified them yet. I don't know if there's somebody I want in my business, right? They might not be the type of person I'm looking for. When I bring this, I have a gift and I'm going to choose who I'm going to give it to, right? Think of this as you've got the golden goose, right? And this golden goose is dropping eggs. You don't want to go give the golden goose to some person that doesn't have their head on straight and goes and slits the throat of the goose, right? You want to have somebody that's going to nurture the goose and be able to produce even more eggs, if that makes sense. So make sure that you're looking after the right type of person, and look at it from a perspective of, you're not in the begging business. You're in the blessing business. You've got huge value to be able to offer to others. Oh, that's not a good thing. Looks like I'm having some issue with my headset. Can y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? Okay, good. Hopefully this will keep on working. I'm in a quiet spot here. So come at this from a perspective of strength. You're not coming in hat in hand and hoping somebody's going to join you. You've got the goods. You've got the thing that people are literally looking for. Your job is to pre-qualify people. You don't want a bunch of people that are not bringing anything to the table into this business, because here's what's going to happen. They're going to be a drain on your resources. They're going to come in and they're not going to do anything. All right. So make sure that they bring something to the table. You are partnering with people. You're not going to go start a new business. Let's take the simplest of businesses out there. Let's talk about going and, what the hell, hot dog stand, whatever. I'm just making something up on the fly here, right? What does it take to start a hot dog stand business? Think about it, right? You're going to have to get the little cart. Let's call that $500 to $1,000 just to get the cart. Let's get a used one and get it for $400, right? Now you got to buy hot dogs, you got to buy buns, you got to get mustard, ketchup, relish, all the fixings to go with that. Most likely you're going to need to get a permit of some sort to be able to actually do business, because you're in the health industry now and you're going to have to be able to do that. But we're going to do this on the down low and have not have all of our permits in place and just be a bandit, right? So we're up to, I don't know, $600 so far. And then you've got operating costs because it's not just one time you're going to buy those hot dogs. You got to keep buying them. And then you're going to keep doing that. You got to be there, snow, sunshine, dark, whatever, cold, heat. You got to be out there all the time doing this business. That's to sell hot dogs, right? Now let's say that you want to partner with somebody to be able to work with the hot dog business. Who are you going to bring to the table? You going to bring somebody that doesn't know how to put a hot dog onto the hot dog bun? Do they not have anything? Do they have any resource they're going to bring to the table? No, you wouldn't partner with somebody like that. Make sure that when you're bringing people to this business, that you're doing it from a perspective of what are you bringing to the table? Do I really want to partner with you? Do I really want to spend time with you? Do I really want to pour into you? Do you deserve that? Are you showing me the things that, are you hungry? Right? Are you truly hungry for this business? Not can you fog a mirror, right? I don't need that. I don't need problems. I need people that want to go out there and blow this thing up. So that should be your mindset. That's a big word right there, mindset, when you're doing this. I can give you the technical of how to do this all day long, but if you don't have the mindset, it's not going to matter. I can tell you all about snakes and I can tell you which ones are poisonous and which ones are not poisonous. But if you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter how much I explain to you and tell you that that little snake is not poisonous. If you have a fear of snakes, you're not going to go and grab that snake and do anything, regardless if it's not going to bite you on that melon. It's like, hell no, I'm out. It's been fun, but I'm out. Deuces, see ya. No. So mindset is very, very key. You got to be so hungry for this business. And it's not the business. The business is the conduit. You got to be so hungry for what it is that you want. Anytime you're about to talk to somebody and you're like, I don't know if I want to, then you are not in touch with your why. You are not in touch with your mindset on this business. You are not thinking about why you started this business. So anytime you're about to reach out and you start having a little creeping of fear or doubt or some of those little voices, there's a little terrorist that sits on your shoulder right here. He's talking to you all the time. Say, oh, you don't need to do that. Go ahead, eat the Twinkie. It's fine. Yeah, that little terrorist ruins you, right? So what you got to do is you got shut up, go away, and then you need to think about all the things it is that you want, all the things that you desire. Why did you do this business? Why did you decide to pop down your hard-earned money to be able to get started in this? It wasn't a whole lot, less than 150 bucks to get going. That's not a terrible amount of money, but it's still, it's three digits. It's got some significance in there, but you didn't do it for 150 bucks, right? You did it because of what you saw in this business. So anytime you're about to reach out to somebody and you start having that little nagging mindset thing that's hitting you, pause for a second, reset yourself, focus on what it is that you desire. Why did I start this business? If you don't know that right now, tonight before your head hits the pillow, spend 15 minutes, sit down, quiet spot, and literally on the same notepad that you're writing notes right here, start writing down why you're doing this business. What do you see? What is it that you want? Do you want to be able to pay your bills? Do you want to be able to just pay this one bill? You just want to be able to get a new car for your wife or your kid? Do you want to go on a trip? And start putting some details around it. Start flushing it out. I remember I wanted to go on a Disney trip. I wanted to go on a cruise. I wanted to take the kids on a cruise. And I started with that thought. It all starts with a thought. And then after that, I started, flushing it out. And I was like, well, which one am I going to do? Well, I went online and I started dreaming. I started looking at what are the options that are out there? Where would I like to take off from? Where do I want to go? What do I want to see? How many days do I want to go? And I didn't look at a price tag until I was done. And then I figured out what that trip was going to be. And it was a significant, I want to say it was north of $6,000 for the trip that I wanted to take the family on. That was a lot of money for me. And then I said, okay, that's why I'm doing it. So anytime I was getting ready to talk to somebody, I was like, oh man, are they going to want to do this or any of that nonsense? That little terrorist barking in your ears, like, shut up. I'm going on this cruise. And then I went and my mind was set. I had my mindset. And then I spoke with the person. And when I came at them with strength. I didn't come in here like, hey, I got this thing. I don't know if, you're probably too busy to take a, hell no. I said, my name's Casey Salgi, and you need to take a look at what the hell I'm doing. It's going to blow your freaking mind. What you got? I don't know you, but what do you got? Nobody says stuff like that. What do you got? I came with enthusiasm. I came with excitement. I came with, man, I got the golden goose. I didn't have, back then, man, I didn't know how to explain everything. I didn't do any of that. All I did was I was a prospecting machine. I put my people that were above me on so many phone calls. Oh, they love me. Oh, they love me. I kept them so damn busy. I had people coming. We did presentations back then every single week. I'm not exaggerating. We were doing them 3 and 4 times a week that we were in different locations around the same city. That was a lot, man. We were going all over the place, and I was not showing up to one of those meetings empty-handed. I was going to have a guest at every one of them. Here we have one big presentation in the area, maybe once every 2 months, right? So go crazy calling people and saying, "Hey, you need to get to this event. Who do I know that's in this area or that area?" Now, not everybody wants to drive, right? But when we have a big event, a big impending event, you want to make sure you get your people there. But after that, guess what? We have a presentation. Technology has shown up. We're doing a Zoom right now. This training isn't just on a phone where you're listening and you don't see anything. You're actually able to see stuff. You're actually able to interact with people with the technology we have. We can do Zooms all the time, right? And we have those. But you got to have the right mindset that we're getting people in front of this information. That is the key thing to do. The more people that are on your list, jot this one down. The more people that are on your list, the more money you're going to make. That's how it works. This is a numbers game, folks. It is there. The testimonies that you're going to hear as this thing continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you start hearing testimonies at different events and at conferences, you're going to look at all of these different people, and you're going to look at them and you're going to try and find a pattern, because that's what humans do. And you're not going to be able to find one other than they were hungry. You're going to see every walk of life. You're going to hear about doctors and teachers and policemen and firefighters and people that own their own multi-million dollar businesses, and people that were stay-at-home moms, and people that just graduated high school, and people that have been this and that and the other. You're going to hear so many different stories, but the common theme is they were all hungry. They were looking for something new. I say that so that you will stop prejudging the people that you think might not do it, and start basing it on asking them questions. If they hit a minimum threshold, but then after that, ask them questions and find out. And the more people you have on your list, then the more people you're going to talk to. And do not be afraid of what it is that you have. If they're hungry and they're looking for something, you're simply just trying to catch up with them. You're trying to go through and remember last week we talked about that hummingbird, zip 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 zip, going through and checking out all the flowers. You're simply trying to find out by touching, because there's no other way of knowing. There's so many people that I've talked to that have made millions of dollars in the world, and they just don't see this thing. That's okay. Blows my mind. Blows my mind that they work so damn hard, spend so much money, deal with so many problems, dealing with issue after issue after issue, and they just don't see it. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm just going to go to the next person. So make sure that you have a big list. Expand your list. If you don't have 100 people on your list all the time, you need to sit down and add to your list. Here's the other thing. If you're down to your last 5 meals and you don't have any source of income and nothing else to eat, each of those 5 are going to be very scarce, right? You're going to be very tempted to really hold on to them and not use it and or do anything. But if you have a very deep pantry and you've got food stored up for a year's worth of food, and you got plenty of money to go to the grocery store, you don't think twice about consuming it. That needs to be how it works with your prospecting list. If you've got 5 people on that list, man, you're going to sit there and you're going to talk yourself out of that terrace. You only got 5. You got to know everything about this before you call Johnny, because if Johnny says no, you're down to 4, and man, that's not good odds. You need to have 100 on there. And then when you reach out to them, then you don't care. You don't care as much. You just keep reaching out to them. You just keep reaching out, and you keep reaching out, and you keep reaching out. Another thing I want to talk about is on those reach outs. Do you have specific time? This is a business that's done on a part-time basis to start with for most people, but it's not in your spare time. This is a time where you need to actually block off some time each day. The important things get on people's calendar. If you're not using a calendar in this day and age, then you either have way too much time on your hand or you're not focused enough, in my opinion. And it doesn't have to be an actual physical calendar. It doesn't have to be on your phone or whatever, but whatever it is that you use to be able to sort out your day, maybe it's on a notepad in the morning or the night before, whatever mechanism you do. Don't get caught up in the specific of this, but just get my point of, if it's important, you schedule time for it. If it's not important, then you get around to it with what's left. And guess what? This day and age, there's no time left, right? If you don't schedule it, then it's not important. You need to schedule your time on this business. And you need to be clear on what it is I'm going to do. If you owned your own big multi-million-dollar business, guess what? You have a schedule. When I work at Baylor College of Medicine, I promise you I have a calendar and I know the meetings I've got to be at and I know what time I got to leave to get there, and all of that sorted out the night before I start my day so that I'm ready. This business doesn't have time blocked out on your calendar, then this is a hobby. And that's okay. If you want to treat this like a hobby, then it's going to pay you like a hobby. But if you got into this business for some big, hairy, audacious, freaking slap your mama goal, then you better be planning out your time to be able to do it. Don't burn yourself out. Pick it up, do the thing, and then set it down. But make sure you're doing the thing. Make sure you're reaching out. Make sure you're following up. Here's the other thing, follow up. So many times we reach out to somebody one time. The guy that Brian and I were talking about, for y'all that were on early, we have been talking to this guy for, goodness gracious, 3 months, Brian? It's about 3. Yeah, at least 3 months. He's met with him. I've met with him. This guy's got 15 people that work for him. They're doing solar installations and solar sales, all of these guys. How easy is that to be able to get a team that's already built, ready to go to pull the trigger? But the dude's busy. He's got 1,000 things going on. But guess what? We just continuously drip on him. We have probably reached out to him. Goodness gracious, I've reached out to him 10 times, and bet Brian's done twice or 3 times that number. Follow up. Write this one down. This is the biggest cliche in this business. Fortune is in the follow up. You keep calling them until they're in your business, or a family member answers the phone and says, I'm sorry, such and such passed away 2 weeks. You keep calling until they're in your business or they've passed away. Now, that might sound crazy, but you keep calling. I'm not interested. That's fine, but call them and see if they're interested later. How many times have you said no to something and you come back and you say yes to it? We're human. It's what we do. Well, he said he wasn't interested. Who gives a damn? It's just, yeah, this means he's not interested right now. He wasn't interested when you called him. Doesn't mean that he didn't just lose his job a day later and he was too proud to give you a call, but you call him and say, hey, want to check with you on this. We got this new thing just happened. Every single time an email comes out of Think Energy, you need to go grab your list and you need to reach out to every single one of them and you need to tell them that great news about what just happened on the phone. Say, hey, I just called to let you know I know you weren't interested in before. And it's no, I told you no. Yeah, that just means you weren't interested then, but I needed to tell you about this. This thing is happening. And it could be that we're opening New Jersey or something, right? We're going to have solar in New Jersey. That's the email that comes out. And you call up at somebody on your list. You say, hey, I just had to tell you, oh my God, I'm so excited about this. We got this new information. We're just opening solar for New Jersey. And he's like, wait, what? New Jersey? Dude, my best friend from college is from New Jersey, and he has this massive network of people. And you don't know when that conversation is going to happen. He could have said no 15 times before. And you might say, well, Casey, that's just not efficient, right? That's just spinning my wheels and wasting my time. No, it's not. That's what we do. We are a marketing company, network marketing. How many times have you seen a Coca-Cola commercial? Does everybody on the planet know what Coca-Cola is? Yes. Do they keep marketing? Yes. Why? Because you got to be reminded. Do they know about your business like they know about Coca-Cola? If not, you need to make some more phone calls. Don't stop hitting the list. Keep hitting the list. That's a Grant Cardone. Hit the list. You've got a list. Hit the list. And this is the content that you can do to call. Hey, Dom, I'm so excited. We just got this thing. Dude, I live in Boston. Why are you telling me that Laredo, Texas is deregulating. I don't give a damn. Well, I didn't know. Maybe do you not know somebody in Laredo? Everybody knows somebody in Laredo. Well, not me. All right, man. Well, I'll call you next time. Bye. Call the next guy. And my cousin Johnny lives in Laredo. And he just lost his job and he has been looking for something and he has a massive network and he loves the like who the heck knows what you're going to run into, but I promise you if you don't ring that telephone you're not going to have a miracle happen. The other thing about this business is that the people that have blown this thing up can tell you the 3 specific phone calls that they had that exploded their business. They didn't know it was that phone call when they made it. It was after they made it that they found out that that was the phone call. They don't tell you about the 3,000 other phone calls that they made that did not do a thing, but those 3 did, and those were for the explosions. The other 30 that really got their business going, and the 300 that did a little bit is why they are on magazine covers, they're up on stage, they're the ones that are getting promoted. All they've done, as you heard David Daniel say it last week, he's gotten more no's than you. That's it. He's talked to more people. So why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you making that many phone calls? Probably fear of rejection. Who here has fear of rejection? Come on now, get those. There they are. Nobody likes being told no. You got to rewire your noggin for that. You got to rewire what that does for you. You need to think and have a different relationship and connect some dots differently. I talked about that that non-poisonous gardener snake, that the people that don't like snakes aren't going to go up there and do anything about that. A lot of people treat rejection like that snake. They don't want any part of it. They come to this is a safe space. I can come to this meeting. He's not going to ask me to do anything. No one's going to reject me. I can just jump on. I can be doing the business on Tuesday nights and I can get all this great information. But come Wednesday, man, I'm all fired up, man. He got me all pumped. I'm ready to go. It's Monday morning. And then, maybe I shouldn't. He's probably busy. And 1,000 excuses start popping in from the little terrorist that's sitting here on the shoulder, just bumping his gums in your ear. They're not going to be interested in this. This is beneath them. They don't want to do this. They make plenty of money. They got a perfect life, or they're probably not interested. Our rates are probably higher, or they don't want to be in this. Or that's fear of rejection. That's just your ego jumping in and trying to protect you so that you don't step out of your comfort zone. You want something that you've never had, you're going to have to do something that you've never done. You're going to have to do something different. Anytime you want something different, the hardest thing in the world is you are going to have to change. Not the company, not the comp plan, not the rates, not anything. You are going to have to change. You have to improve on that. So here's how. If you're afraid of rejection, it's because you haven't got a why that's big enough yet. I promise you, if you have a why that you literally start breaking down to talk about and explain to your best friend on why you're doing this business, there is nothing that will stop you from making the phone calls. It will get rid of fear of rejection. It will get rid of all fears very, very quickly. I probably told this story before, but I'll tell it again. Let's say that we put a 2x12, big old board, real wide, and it's about, I don't know, it's a 40-foot long. It's just really long board. And I set it on the ground and I put $100 bill on one end and I put you on the other. And I say, if you can walk across that and get on the other side of that 40-foot board, you can have that $100. Who here is going to be able to accomplish that? Are y'all going to be able to walk that plank, if you will, that's sitting on the ground to get that $100? Yeah, Casey, come on. All right, now I'm going to get 2 sawhorses. All right, they're about 3 foot up off the ground, 40 feet apart. I'm going to set that board on it and put $100 on the end. I'm going to have a little ladder and help you get up on top of it and say, walk across that. You're 3 feet up off the ground. Some of y'all are already going, it's $100, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. You're already, I don't know. I see millions. But some of you are like, yeah, I'll do it. No big deal. I'll make that happen. All right. So now we go and we get that same board and we connect it from 2 houses up on the roof. We climb up the roof on one of those real long ladders, walk up there, and we get on there, and you got to walk across. And you look down, you see the fence, and you see the pool, and you see Fido, and you see everybody, and then there's $100. I'm losing a lot of y'all now. Now let's go downtown Houston, 70 stories up. And we put that board across and we connect those 2 buildings. I put that $100. We go up the elevator. We finally get up to the top after a minute and a half. Top of that elevator, we get out. We walk up on the roof, and I said, "All right, walk across that. There's $100 there." There's nobody here that's going to say, "I'm in." They're going to say, "You're out your damn mind." Right now, let's say I put $1 million sitting on there. I bet you still maybe 1 or 2 of you'll do it that are some ballerina type, got great balance. Maybe you try it. Now, for everybody here who's got kids, now I'm going to put your kid on that other building, not the $100. I'm going to put your kid. I'm going to set that building on fire. I'm going to say, if you don't go across that plank and get your kid, they're going to die in that fire. Not a single one of you does not go across that plank. What changed? Same plank, same height, same everything. The why changed. You need that type of why in this business. If you don't have that type of why in this business, because there's no more fear at that point. You just go. You just do it. You just, let's go. Get it done. You come back and you freak the hell out. You have an adrenaline dump like, what did I just do? Shock will hit you. But at the time of doing it, you're going to go across and get your kid. That's how this business needs to be framed in your mind. That's how you get past the scary of the gardener snake. That's when you don't care about any of those things. All fear is gone. That lizard brain of ours kicks in and it's mission focused, and you're going to go do it because it's survival. It's at that level. It's part of your DNA. You must. There is no consideration of failure. You just go do it. So if you've got a fear of rejection, that is the fastest way to overcome that, is to find a why that's bigger than the fear. And that's got to be up to you. You got to figure it out. And it's not that it's material, right? Because anytime I ask somebody what they want, 9 times out of 10, they start off with something material. And that's just what we say to describe what it is that we want. But ultimately, it's not that. It's not the material thing. It's the emotion that comes with what that material thing is going to get us. So do not hesitate to write down the material things of what you want, but also next to those, and better than even writing it down, is to close your eyes and think about having it. Thinking about the emotion of what you will feel if you had that. If you're not quite sure why it's important to you, ask yourself, why do I want that? Why is that important to me? And keep asking that question. Who here has like this, and just come off a mute and tell me, who here has just this massive burning goal that you can't wait to tell people this is why you're doing this business? Who's got that? Who wants to come off a mute and share that with me?
I can share.
Please.
Hi.
But first, tell everybody your name, Carrie, and where you're from, and quick little background on you.
Okay, so Carrie Swim, and I'm actually a native Houstonian living in Houston, and I'm a fine artist, educator, fine art consultant, and medical massage therapist, with a passion to be a vessel of healing through all those things that I just mentioned. And so part of my why is to build up a financial resource that can fuel facilities that would empower artists to basically be better artists and to reach specifically third world countries with therapeutically informed art workshops, and also art education systems that can help just bringing art into places where there's high conflict or economical struggles. I feel can help break people out of old patterns into new thinking through creativity, and also bring community together, build bridges of peace and commonality. So practically building arts centers are partnering with other organizations that would house art programs in different countries would be a great deal. So that's what I think about. And I think that my base would need to be in the millions to be able to do that. I don't know, but that's what I'm keeping in my head.
Why is it important for you to be, and can you hear me okay still?
Mhm.
Okay, good. My headphones died, so I want to make sure that the volume was okay. Why, Carrie? That's awesome, and thank you for sharing that was really cool. I want to dig for a little bit. You okay to participate with me?
Yeah, absolutely. Use me.
Why is that important for you to be able to have that type of organization?
Because I've been doing trauma-informed art workshops in third world countries, especially those that have been affected by war, for the last about 5 or 6 years. And I've seen just in my little workshops that I've done with kids and families, adults, I've seen the impact, and I personally have been blown away by it. And I really think there's a big need and a potential, especially with what's going on now in the world more than ever. So it feels very timely. And I think it's a gift that God has given me to see that need and to be able to meet it. And I want to do more than just what I can do. I need a team of people, because if it's just me going to these places and doing my little workshops, it only reaches so far.
What does it mean to you personally to be able to do that? To be the person when you see that vision and you have that and you see those people being helped by what you're doing, what does that do for you? Why is it important to be able to do that?
I feel like it's like part of why I'm alive. Like if I can just help, yeah, I can make beautiful art, and I can teach a few classes here and there. I can impact the stranger I say hello to, but I just have this thing inside me that says, no, I know I can do more. And I look at the world and I'm like, I know I can do something. And
but why do you want to? Why do you want to do that?
Because I don't like to see people hurting that I know I can.
That's them. What does it do for you?
It just it excites me. It feels like whenever, even if I'm just doing a workshop, I feel more alive. It connects to my purpose. I feel more anchored. And I think why also is that as an artist, and I to shift from supporting myself with massage therapy primarily and then doing art on the side, I switched it to where I'm focused on art and massage on the side. It financially, because part of what I do is sales, it's like this. So I would love to not, and meanwhile I have these big dreams. I'm like, well, I've got to keep them pretty small right now because I'm just trying to pay bills as an artist and an art consultant. So if I can feel financially more secure and at peace myself, start building out those dreams and then see, okay, what am I doing now that connects with who I am? Because I want to do things that are congruent with who I am.
Yep.
And not just things that are good because they're good, but it is actually a part of who I am.
There it is. Carrie, that's perfect. Now, I want to ask everybody that was watching, and you did great on what you just did. Did y'all notice when I was asking in the beginning, she was explaining it all, right? And then she lit up like a damn Christmas tree, and she used the words, because it makes me feel And then she shared that part. Then she went back and she was given the details. The logical side was giving it all. And then she fell back into the feel part and she lit up like a Christmas tree again. Did you all see that? That is what we're looking for. The emotion, the feel. You're doing all of these things, and it was a great explanation. And you have to start that way to be able to get other people to understand the concept of what it is. But ultimately, when all of that work is done, it's because it makes you feel good. That's it. Period. When you keep asking somebody, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? They'll finally say, because it makes me feel good. In some form or fashion, that will be the answer every time. And the chances are it will take less than 7 times of asking that to work through that to get there. You got to be patient with people. You got to hear them out. You got to connect with them. You got to see what's on, but then you'll see it. And when you do, they light up like a Christmas tree. They have the biggest smile. They're bright. They're fired up. That's the glow. You're looking for people that have that glow, that want something. And that's why she's here. That was awesome, Carrie. Thank you very, very much for sharing that. And that is what, for her, for Carrie, for you, that's what you've got to think about. Because when you do that, while it is, I'm going to use the word selfish, and that's not a bad word in the connotation that I'm giving, you do need to think about what it is that you're doing this for. She's doing all of this for other people, 100%. And ultimately, it's also going to benefit her. And there is nothing wrong with that. You want this to be able to be a benefit to you and others. And what she's got in mind and what she wants to do, she could see it. She could smell it. She could taste it. She knows what color it's going to be. She knows what the building's going to look like. She's going to know how the programs are going to run. She might not have all the details nailed down, but when she's just sitting there quietly at times, focus on that. Spend the time and fill in the details on that and go as deep as you can while it feels good. And do that on a daily basis. Focus on that. And then I promise you, when you get yourself aligned with that, a name is going to pop up in your head. Call that person immediately. I cannot tell you the number of times that this will happen for you if you do that exercise. Dig in on your why. Think about it so much down to the detail. And when that happens, all of a sudden, you're connected to that thing. You know that thing where you think about somebody and literally 0.3 seconds later, they call you? Anybody ever experienced that? That is some voodoo stuff right there, isn't it? It is crazy. There's a formula to that, though, because you're in alignment at that moment with that person, and there is a connection. There's a quantum connection that occurs. This has been proven scientifically. And if you don't believe me, research Dr. Joe Dispenza, and we can have a talk about that another time. I'm telling you, that is a thing. So when you get yourself in alignment with what it is that you want, and you really get into the feels, a clear intention with an elevated emotion, then great things happen right after that. You get in alignment, and people, cooperative components will fall in your lap. You will cross paths with people. When you cross paths with them, you now have the opportunity. And at that moment, you have a decision to make, a fork in the road, if you will, which our day is made up of 80,000 of those decisions. Do I go left or right? At that moment, do you answer that phone call? Do you say hi to the person that just crossed your path that you felt something about? It's like, now I'll talk to this guy. Do you do that? Or do you have that little terror sitting in your ear going, that's the one that keeps you small, keeps you safe, keeps you with what you're comfortable with, doesn't get out there in that expanded craziness that you're trying to do? Pay attention to that. Pay huge attention to that, because it's at those moments. And if you get in and you feed the person that's up on stage a couple drinks and they start telling you about that amazing connection that had occurred with that person that joined their business and then brought in about 600 new business partners that then turned into 80,000 customers in their organization because of one of those moments. If you can dig in with that person, they'll tell you that it was something like that. There's going to be an amazing story that's tied into that. All of that's based upon what it is and why you're doing this business. If you're not clear on that, do that work. And it's not a one and done. Keep filling in the picture. Keep directing the video, the movie of how it's going to play out. When it feels good, just keep that movie running in your head. Oh, and we could do this, and then we could do that, and the moment that little terrorist jumps up and smacks you upside the head and says, "You're not going to be able to achieve that," then set it down and move on with your day, right? Because it's going to happen. You'll get so far into your dream that you're not quite ready for it just yet. And then you start doubting. And then the fear of rejection and all the different fears will start coming to play. Set it down, regroup, go back to it, get yourself back in alignment, and then reach out and call some people. Look at your list and go down that list. But you've got to keep doing those things. All right. Man, if I could bottle that up on how time stands still for me when I do these things, we would have a pretty cool time machine. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. I want to open it up for any questions, technical questions, curiosity questions. Why is the sky blue? You know, anything that comes to your mind that you want to ask, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask away regarding this business or anything else. Anybody have any questions tonight?
No, but I'm going to tell you, I wasn't afraid of snakes. My girlfriend is terrified, and her daughter just said she's getting her grandson a snake for Christmas, and she broke down in tears. She goes, "I can't go to his house anymore." So I'm like, Casey, you know how to overcome her fear.
How to overcome that? Got to find a why.
Got to find a why.
That's right. That's right.
Casey, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got someone that just signed up for switching to Think Energy, and they're supposed to be calling me in the next few days to discuss the referral program. He's a pilot, and he has a lot of connections, and he feels like the referral program will be something that he can, you know, use and offer. And me being new, I've read the details. I've gone into it and read it. And there were a few things that I'm not quite sure how to explain in a positive way. One of the things, I'm just going to be honest, that I read that bothers me is that with the struggles people have financially right now with our economy, people do sometimes pay their bills late.
Yeah.
And it reads that if you have, say I had, and I know David and I discussed getting, 24, 25 people for yourself to get your own electricity free. But it said that if a customer pays late, then they're not qualified for as a customer. And they also go through then a 90-day probation period before they become qualified again. How do you, because I know he's going to go over the details, how do you address that in a positive manner?
Tell them to, this is going to be a tongue-in-cheek answer, but tell them to talk to people that pay their bills on time. That would be the first thing. But all joking aside, if that's brought up, then just say, yeah, it's a financial thing, right? You're getting a credit for something when the company did not receive any payment for that. That's what's paying for and offsetting your electricity. So if the company doesn't have that come in and everybody doesn't pay their bills on time, well, then how would the company be able to stay afloat? And then you just look at it from a logical perspective, and you get them to put themselves in the company's shoes. That is not some, behemoth that's got unlimited funds. I mean, that's just how any good company has to operate to be able to do that. If you're going to give somebody something, well, that's coming from somewhere. And the company says, hey, we get, so many people that are paying their bills, paying us, and we get that money, then it makes sense for us to give some of that back to the person that brought them on. But same way with commissions, right? If somebody, because you bring in a customer, and let's say it's a light at the end of the street that happens to be on a meter, you can get that as a customer, but it's not qualified because it's only burning 15 kilowatts. they're not going to be able to pay out, the payout structure because the money's not coming in. So they got to put different things in there. So that shouldn't be a hard thing. And I doubt very seriously that I definitely know detailed people. I'm one of them, but I'm not a full blown, we call those the green personality type, where they're analytical beyond all recognition. I'm more red, and then my secondary color is green. But even if you get a full blown green that is going to sit there and read every single page of every single thing, if that comes up, then the logic is there and they'll understand that logic. But I would doubt very seriously that somebody doesn't move forward as a result of that.
No, that's good. It's the same thing. Mindset is everything, how you
Mhm.
approach it or
Yes.
view it going into it. So
Mhm.
that's good. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, no, good question. Very good question. And that applies to so many things, right? How you frame it makes all the difference. And again, we're marketing, right? I always make the joke, when you go to a bar and you see as a guy, and if you're interested in a woman, you don't walk up to her and start asking, hey, how old are you and how much do you weigh? That's not good marketing. That's not the right approach to be able to start off, right? It's just not probably going to work out all the way that you want it to. We're marketing, right? So it's a matter of framing it up, how you're going to have that conversation, and say you start off with, "Hey, those are really nice shoes," and then you can keep on rolling, right? Hopefully they're wearing shoes. If they're not, then pick something else. But so yeah, it's how you frame it. Again, it's not that you're saying anything that's untrue. It's not that you're doing it. It's just there's a certain way that you can approach a situation, and that would be how to do it in that situation. How I would approach it. Let's talk real quick about personality types too. I told y'all it's going to be a buffet of different thoughts tonight. So personality types make a difference, right? First, when you're first getting started in this business, you're just trying to remember, what to say and what to tell them, right? You're not really thinking about anything other than that. But as you improve in this business and your prospecting skills increase, you're going to start identifying people's personality types. As we were just talking, this guy is very analytical, right? And so there's different things that you can do to figure out people's personality types or how to label them. Not to say that distinguishes who they are as a human, but some people have personality types that are kind of stereotypical. And one of them is the green type, which is the analytical. Another one is the yellow type, which is the very caring person. They're the person that's bringing homemade baked cookies for everybody at a get together. There's the hard charging red type. Those are the alpha. They're the very hard charging, get to the bottom line. No small talk. Let's get to it. And then there's the blue. Those are the people that just want to go out and have a good time. They're up for whatever. Just tell me that we're going somewhere. They never show up on time. They don't have anything packed. They're just ready to go. Melanie's like, I know which color I am. Vegas, I'm in. Let's go. Where you got the green is going to say, okay, what time are we going? How many days are we going to be there? Where are we staying? What's all of this? You've got the red that's like, shut up, stop asking questions, get on the damn plane. Let's fricking go. And then you got the yellow that says, who's bringing cookies on the airplane? So that's how you get all four personality types to understand for the trip to Vegas. Based on that is how you will most likely approach somebody. It's not your personality type that matters. This is not about you. This is about them. If you are a red and you come up against your arch nemesis, a yellow, David Daniels laughing his butt off right now. And he's going to have to slow it down. He's going to have to figure out and get in touch with his feelings and figure out what they've got going on. And it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. If you're a yellow and you're going to go talk to, or better yet, if you're a blue who likes to go party and do all these things and you sit down with an analytical person, they're going to be like, well, why this, why that? And it's like, dude, I don't know. I'm going to Vegas. Why are you asking all these pesky questions? Right? So you got to figure out how to be able to adjust to that and vice versa with all the different personality types. So that's something to think about. The way to do that is to get them in touch with others that can help. So I'm going to give you some quick and simple notes for yourself here just to get started. But if it's a red personality type, these are the people that are going to be completely annoyed with small talk in about 30 seconds. Get to the point, tell them it's about money, And then if they say they're not interested, you turn around and tell them, yeah, you'd probably suck at this anyway, and you wouldn't make a lot of money at it. So it's probably not for you. Now that will freak some of you out, but I promise you it works. Mr. Brian Pinso has got in the energy business because I told him that. And if you could have seen the lady that brought him, she was standing right behind him and he was telling me this, that, and the other. And I could tell right away, he's me. He's a red hard charger, done very well, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, yeah, you know what? You've done well with your business and you probably wouldn't be very good at this at all. Her eye, she was right behind her. Her eyes got like saucers. She's like, what are you doing? It's like, you probably wouldn't be very good at this thing. We're talking big money here. You probably done well. We're talking $500,000 a month type money, but hey, appreciate you coming. He's like, whoa, 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 what? And here we are, been damn good friends for over a decade as a result of that conversation. So if you're dealing with a red and they aren't interested, get to the point first. And if they're not interested, then tell them they're probably going to suck at it. And this wouldn't be for them anyway, and tell them they're not going to be able to do it. If it is a yellow, tell them we're going to save the world. Tell them we're going to save all the trees in the rainforest. Tell them that dolphins are going to be happier as a result of their choices with their electricity provider. And tell them there's going to be cookies. All right, I'm making a little fun here with all these personality types so nobody get bent out of shape, but that's the idea. If it's a blue, tell them we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun. And that's all you got to say. And they're in. Tell them about the events and all the great stuff that we do and all the fun that we're going to have. They want to have fun. So tell them that. For the green, they're going to ask you 6,000 questions. Do not answer a green. Don't ever do it. You will be there for the next 3 days answering their questions. Okay? When you run into a green, give them homework. You send them websites, you send them information, you send them presentations, you send them PDFs, you overload them with a compensation plan, you give them every single document you can find and you send it to them and you let them look through all of that. Okay, so give them homework. That's what you do with a green. All right, cool. All right, we're at time. Any final questions from anybody? Yeah, what you got?
I said, and then we send them to you. If none of that
That's
works.
right. That's exactly right. Yes, 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 yes. Dave really likes talking to greens too. So if you've got a green, send them to Dave that wants to ask a whole bunch of questions. I love it. I love it.
Green a
Excellent.
couple weeks ago asking all the questions. So I get it.
That's how it works. That's how it works. So the key to all of that is pay attention to what the other person's at, find out where they're coming from, find out what they want, find out their personality type, and then market to them in a way that they're going to consume it. You don't go to a green and start talking about all the fun. They don't do fun. They do analytical. We don't dance. You know, if y'all are dancing, that's fine, but I'm not dancing. So I don't want to dance. So don't tell them about dancing. You got to know what to be able to tell the different personality types. Awesome. All right. Was this helpful? Thumbs up if it was good. Excellent. Very good. Awesome. I'm very glad. I appreciate you all jumping on. Carrie, thank you for sharing such a wonderful why. That was really, really awesome. I appreciated hearing that. And I know everybody else did as well. And again, reminder, get people to the Houston event, get people to the Lubbock event on Thursday. We're going to be at both of those locations. So just make sure you reach out to those people and say, you've got to get to this thing and sell them on it. Sell them on why they want to go. All right. With that, I'm going to let everybody unmute themselves. Everybody can say good night. And with that, thank you all for joining. We'll see you at the next one. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Good
Casey.
night.
Good night. Bless
Thank
you all.
you.
Good night.
Talk to you tomorrow, sir.
Good night.
Yes, sir.
Great call, Casey.
Thank you, Joanne.
Yeah, now I want cookies.
I was reading that. That's awesome. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all later.
Good, bud.